Peace, this is Jarrell with Quantum Light Consciousness. Today I want to talk about the importance of eclipses. Okay, so today is the eclipse in Aries. It's a huge eclipse. It's been talked about pretty substantially around the awakening communities, mainstream media, just in social media in general. There's more and more people waking up and actually seeing the eclipses and their significance, and really what I want to go into today is what it is, exactly what it's about. One of the things that people don't really go deep into for what eclipses bring to an individual and why they're important. And I also want to go into what eclipses mean, actually for a collective, for humanity, for people in general who are awakening and learning and integrating their lessons in their day-to-day lives. Okay, so it's here. The eclipse is here. It's been like a thing that's been going on around in the world. Like, people have been freaking out. People have been terrified. People have been calm. People have been excited. People have been sharing on their insights. People have been listening and gathering information from world events and thinking about what's going to happen. What's happening is happening right now. It's definitely happening. I'm recording this just a little bit after the peak time of the eclipse, and when this eclipse happened, it was beautiful. It's been a beautiful experience so far. So when you look at eclipses, the popular notion of what an eclipse is like, you have the sun, then you have the moon, then the moon just comes over the sun, and then there's a massive shadow that's cast, and that's the eclipse. That's the popular notion. Okay. Yet what an eclipse is, it's not looked at as a shadow. It's not just defined as a shadow. A shadow isn't something that is a definition of anything. A shadow is a negative of what isn't. A shadow is something that isn't anything significant. Believe it or not, because when you have a shadow, you have something that isn't really important. It's like the lack of creation. Okay, so we're going through something that is more important than what the mainstream can explain. So when you have an eclipse, what you have here is an illuminated essence happening. You have the moon, just moving at its own angle in front of the sun. And when that happens, the moon in front of the sun, from a specific perspective, creates a corona. The outer light shining around the sun envelops the entire moon, creating a lens of consciousness, an actual beam of consciousness, a pillar of consciousness, a pillar of light, coming directly from the galactic center in perfect harmony, in perfect balance, creating that perfect amount of light around the darkness to envelop the darkness, to completely transform darkness into light, like out of duality into singularity as one. So the darkness of the moon becomes transmuted into light, as it is, as kind of just as one light pillar, literally from the galactic center down to Earth. Here's the galactic center, here's the sun, here's the moon, and it's all shining down to us here on the Earth. And it's just like that. It's like the most beautiful thing you could possibly imagine. Because when you have a ring of light, what you have is illumination. What you have is enlightenment. What you have is total understanding, the ability to completely have full control of your own consciousness. That's why when you see ascended masters, angels, deities, gods and goddesses, they have a ring around their head because that symbolizes enlightenment. That's why eclipses are so important, because they're enlightened light codes coming from the galactic center to hit us so we can use them and become enlightened. It's really just us being aligned enough to be in the right place within ourselves enough to do these things, to pay attention, to look at what's going on, to figure out the problems, to understand the solutions, to do the right things when it's necessary for us to take care of ourselves and to move forward into our desired realities. So I saw the eclipse happen. I saw it happen. I didn't think I was going to see it happen because I'm not in the trajectory of the perspective of the corona. So when the corona is visible, where the moon goes in front of the sun, that's when you see the ring of fire, what they're calling it. I didn't get to see it, but I saw for the first time in my life today the sun not at 100%. I saw the sun like out, except it was like dim. The light was dim because of those light codes coming through, through around the moon, through the corona. So that was huge. That was huge. I was walking around outside today and I was just like, wow, like nobody's like looking at what's going on. People are just going about their business. Yet like the sun wasn't at 100%. It looked like it was just like dim. Like, I don't know, like the sun was like at a lower intensity, at a broader area, in a broader sense, because most of the light rays were coming through more direct around the perimeter of the moon as that illumined light ray of divinity that's just going in a ring, and it's just focusing light codes across the northern hemisphere, which is absolutely amazing when you actually think about it. It's actually the eye of God looking through and just lighting us all up. So that's what's actually happening. That's what I felt was happening. That's what I saw what was happening on multiple levels, from the ground, from space, from just viewing from my intuition. And this stuff is really important to understand and to utilize in your own understanding of yourself. Because when you start integrating your dark versions of self as enlightened versions of you as light itself, everything begins to change for you. You begin to be able to control your shadow, control your darkness, control your anger patterns, control your any fears, control your insecurities, worry, the way you look at things, the way you look at your past, the way you look at others, the way you interact with others, the way you view yourself, the way you talk to yourself. You'd be able to control your mind. You'd be able to control what you are looking at and perceiving, how you look at and perceive it. You'd be able to control everything, a lot more about yourself. You'd be able to control any past traumas, and you stop those from happening because you start to transmute your shadow, and those things are no longer embarrassing or hurtful or painful. You don't have any insecurities. You're not worried about the future. You're not worried about the past. You're completely in the moment because you are the complete embodiment of yourself. So that's what eclipses do for us. They teach us to become that illuminated, completed version of us with all of our darkness integrated. And you have that dark version of yourself become that fully self-actualized, self-understood, and self-embodied version of enlightenment, to where you're not just light, except you're the darkness made back into light, because that's truly what darkness is. It's space for light to exist as light itself. So that's what eclipses teach us. They teach us the light within the darkness, the light around the darkness, and the darkness as light. That's the biggest thing to take away from this entire experience. That's the biggest thing that you can learn. One of the biggest things you can learn while you're here on this planet is, embodying your darkness, learning, and then transmuting it as light, and then doing that over and over and over again for multiple versions of your dark versions of self as your dark versions of higher self. That's the way to go. Anything else, you're kind of wasting your time. You are wasting your time. So, uh, with that said, I like to pull a card for you guys just for this eclipse here. And I want you guys to kind of just like get a feel for my Oracle deck and kind of just understand how it can help you guys out. So I'm going to shuffle these real quick. And while I'm shuffling here, I just wanted to share something about what I experienced when I was meditating today to get my downloads for the eclipse so I can make this video. Because if I wasn't outside meditating, aligning with my higher selves, I wouldn't even be able to make content like this. So when I was outside, I was on, the back patio deck, chilling, I had like a drink and a sandwich and whatnot. And I went into meditation. I asked my higher selves to connect me to the eclipse energies that were happening. And as I did, I was chilling there and receiving the energies. And one of the things I saw was all my higher selves, literally all in alignment. They're all stacked one on top of each other, literally up all the way to source. And they were just like, just here. We're just here, just aligned, just being ourselves. And it was a very powerful thing for me to see that. Okay, so the card for the eclipse here is Sobek, the god of the Nile. Okay. Now this is the fifth dimensional version of Sobek. All right. Sobek is one of the most powerful gods of Egypt. He used to protect the pharaohs of Egypt from dark magic. He exists from his own universe. He kind of just manifested, appeared in Egypt, and he's the guy to go to for many things. He swims very fast. He's very good at fighting. He is one of these beings who is very no nonsense. If you know your dragon higher self, you know that they're very sharp tongued, sharp witted. They think very fast without like thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like they're reptile brained and they're very, very, very intelligent, very smart. Okay. So here, what it says here in my guidebook, I'm going to read you a little explanation of this card here. Hope you can see it because Sobek is awesome. Illustrated is the 5D ancient Egyptian humanoid crocodile god Sobek. Sobek is one of the most important figures in Egypt, primarily because his genome is both crocodile and human. If you know anything about the human genome, you know that humans are very eminently related to reptiles. So just a little side note here. This card is coming up for transmutation of darkness. Because it's the year of the dragon, we're here to transmute our darkness. And if you don't know by now, your dragon on your soul stream is probably controlling your dark higher selves. So if you get control over your own dragon DNA, you control your darkness. And that's a perfect thing to do in a day like this, the eclipse. You want to, transmute your darkness. Understand the role of darkness in the universe. Okay. It's a whole thing. It's a whole perspective. It's actually made of light. It's not partialized as duality. It's actually complete. Darkness is part of the entire picture, not as half, as the whole within the whole of light, as light. All right. So Sobek represents the closest connection between human and reptile. And because humans are so closely related, this deity will help you overcome many things that have plagued humans for ages. All right. He can show you how to master the energy flow of your brain, how to master your anger, how to stop your triggers for good, how to control your emotions, how to cool your energy temperature like a reptile during these collective, intense times, and how to swim very fast. Work with Sobek to help you accomplish these things. All right. He's a god. He's awesome. Work with him. All right. So I just wanted to pull a card, show you these things, and tell you these things. So always remember, stay in your heart, do your best, show up on days like these for yourself, take care of yourselves, talk with your higher selves, always listen to your intuition, and everything's going to be good. You just continue just pushing forward, doing your best, and being yourself. Okay? I love you guys. Stay true out there, stay positive, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.